This lesson on academic writing skills is sentence writing tips. We will begin with the introduction, then we move on to the 5 sentence writing tips. Finally, we will have some practices and quizzes to check out learning. Now, let's start from the introduction. Why is it important to know 5 sentence writing tips? These sentence writing tips can help us in 3 ways. First, when we write, we can make our meaning clear and complete to readers. Second, it helps writers create sentence variety and provide greater interest and enjoyment for readers. Finally, as a reader, we can analyze the formal components of a text and understand the meaning efficiently. Now let's move on to learn the 5 sentence writing tips. Here are the 5 sentence writing tips: to select right words, to change the word order and sentence structure, to avoid faulty reasoning, to use parallelism, and to use active and passive voice. So first, to select right words, we have to avoid clichés, wordiness, and eliminate repetitious, redundant, or unnecessary words. Instead, we can use words that have force and exactness. For example, the sentence is too wordy with repetitious words. These 2 sets of words can express similar meanings. In my opinion and I think. Speaking English and in English speaking. So we can rewrite the sentence by using the forceful word, the verb believe, and eliminate the redundant words, in my opinion, and in English speaking. Second, we can vary word order and sentence structure to make the text much more enjoyable to read by the following 3 ways: to add details, to substitute precise details, to delete unnecessary details, or join sentences or parts of sentences together. For example, the sentence, "The flowers attract bees," may be too general, so we can provide more details by changing flowers into yellow, white, and blue-purple range flowers, and add carrying fragrance to make it more fun to read. Next, when we write, it's important to avoid faulty reasoning. There are 4 types of faulty reasoning, and here are the first 2 types: false analogy and overgeneralization. While false analogy compares 2 things that are not similar, overgeneralization states something is true for all things or in all cases, when in reality it is not. And the next 2 types of faulty reasoning are irrelevant argument and the restatement of the opinion. While irrelevant argument gives an example or a reason that does not relate to the opinion, in the restatement of the opinion, a reason given only restates that opinion. Let me give a quick example of restatement of the opinion. Because it helps me relax, given in the sentence only restates the opinion, helps me relaxed. To explain why I like relaxing music, we can add reduce anger, loosen tense muscles to show how relaxing music helps us, without restating the opinion. The 4th tip is to use parallelism, which means using coordinating conjunctions or correlative conjunctions to join the same grammatical forms or structures, including words, phrases, and clauses. For example, the sentence, "John likes going hiking, to go fishing, and enjoys cooking," is not parallel with different structure, which makes it hard to understand. So, to make it parallel, we can rewrite the sentence and connect the gerunds with the coordinating conjunction and. So John likes going hiking, going fishing, and cooking is not parallel with the same grammatical forms, the gerunds. The last tip is using the active or passive voice. Usually, the active voice is used. It's more forceful, direct, and concise. However, when the receiver of the action is more important, or when the performance of the action is unknown or unimportant, we can use the passive voice. As can be seen in the sentence, we use the active voice. In the sentence, many people is the subject, believe is the verb, that it's more convenient to live in cities is the subject complement. However, if we want to emphasize that clause, that it's more convenient to live in cities, we can use the passive voice with it is believed to introduce the real subject, that clause. We've learned 5 sentence writing tips. Now let's practice to check out how much we have learned. First, please rewrite the sentences. Here are the answers. For the first sentence, in sum and summarizes express the same meaning, and briefly is a redundant word that can be eliminated. So we use the forceful word, the verb summarizes. To rewrite the second sentence with parallelism, we can use adverbs confidently and carefully. Finally, for the third sentence, the object memos is placed at the beginning, that is followed by are sent by John. Next, please choose the types of faulty reasoning. Here are the answers. The first one is the restatement of the opinion, because wrong and immoral means the same thing. The second one is overgeneralization, because of the word all. The third one is false analogy that compared two things that are not similar. Bungee jumping and hiking shares little similarity. And the last one is irrelevant argument, in which the reason, because she's good at English, can't support the opinion, while the writer thinks she will not cheat on others. Now, let's move on to the quiz to check out learning. Please identify which tip can be used to rewrite the sentence. Here are the answers. The first sentence includes the faulty reasoning, irrelevant argument. We can rewrite because the weather is good to be because he likes to observe the insect, which is more reasonable. For the second sentence, we can rewrite it using the same grammatical forms, the gerunds. Finally, when we write, we can use words that are more forceful. For example, we can replace gives a presentation with the verb present, everyone who listens with the word audiences, and make someone impressed with the verb impresses. Now let's quickly review what we have learned. So here are the 5 sentences writing tips we have learned. It's also important to know that sometimes more than one tips can be used to rewrite a sentence. So when we write, make sure we follow these tips to make our writing clear to the readers. Thank you for joining the lesson. The lesson is funded by the Ministry of Education.